It's Friday, almost 5. I think I started there we go, just a moment or two earlier. I'm reminding myself to speak up a bit. This is as um, about the first time I've really spoken today, except for the morning prayer of thank you, thank you, thank you. And I said good morning to both my cats. And one is strolling in right now, hears me talking. Sorry about that. So, we're going to read from A Course in Miracles. And this is from chapter 6, the lessons of the Holy Spirit. So it's not from the lesson book, it's actually from the text. And I don't read as often from the text. The lessons seem to contain the essence that we put into practice. But it's all important. The text gives us the foundation of which we practice the lessons. Mir's here. Mir says, good morning, Sir Yogi. Good morning, Sir Mir. How are you, my friend? Appreciate seeing you so early. Mir says, how are you? I'm doing pretty well. Starting my day. Well, it's been off to a start. I've been up for about almost 3 hours or so. Mir says he's good. So, this is from chapter 6, the lesson of the Holy Spirit. Perhaps you think that fear as well as love can be communicated, and therefore can be shared. Yet this is not so real as it may appear. Those who communicate fear are promoting attack, and attack always breaks communication, making it impossible. Egos do not join together in temporary alliance, but always for what each one can get separately. The Holy Spirit communicates only what one can give to all. He never takes anything back because he wants you to keep it. Therefore, his teaching begins with this lesson: to have all, give all. To have all, give all. I love that. To have all, give all. So, in every moment, we are teaching one of two things in various forms of description. Hey, Skits, how are you? We are teaching love, or we're teaching fear. Fear is always taught through attack, through grievance, through resentment, justifying its very existence by that which it does. Love itself doesn't need justification because, according to A Course in Miracles, only love is real. And when I say something like only love is real, someone might say, can you prove it? And I can't prove it, but I can seek to demonstrate it. It's something that we can only prove to ourselves. What feels more real to you? When you're attacking somebody? When you're fearful? When you are scared and alone? Or those moments when we are perfectly and peacefully content? When we feel like we have everything we need, but it's not based upon a single thing. So the beginning of A Course in Miracles, in the introduction, says, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Imagine that. Nothing unreal exists. but it takes some examination. The sorry, my cat got startled. There's 4 paths of yoga. There's the yoga, karma yoga, the yoga of selfless service. There is the bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion. Raja yoga, which is what I attempt to practice. But there's also jnana yoga. Jnana yoga is the path of self-knowledge. So when we say nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists, we go with that path of self-knowledge. We need to find it. We need to find what can't be threatened. What is it that can't be threatened? You got to dig deep in the heart to find it. Brother Eric says, God is love. Absolutely, my friend. God is love. Thank you for sharing that. Mir says, good morning, the skits. Had a beautiful day, my friend. And don't forget, a big thumbs up, guys. Much appreciated, Mir. Skitzer says, morning, Eric. Mir. Good to see you. Hope you both are well. Thank you, Skits. Skits says, good, thank you, Eric, and I hope all will have a beautiful day. Thank you. Will says, I have peripheral vision. I was a peripheral visionary. I could see the future, but only wait to decide. It says, hope you all have a beautiful. I do as well. So, hey, William's here. William, how are you? So, again, chapter 6, Course in Miracles. What is the succinct lesson? There's 2 succinct lessons that I'll offer. The one is to have all, give all. To have all, give all. Do you want peace? How do you attain it? You think you're ever going to get peace by giving resentment? Do you think you're ever going to have peace by giving grievances? By justifying our attacks? So to know peace, we give peace. To know forgiveness, we give forgiveness. One of the reasons why I fell in love with the teachings of A Course in Miracles was the simplicity. What it gave me right now. Not what it could offer in the future. Not what I might be able to train myself to do. When I was training for ultramarathons, I knew if I woke up every morning and I got my distance in, I would one day be able to do 100 miles. I knew each step led me in that direction. And I love that. I absolutely love that. However, imagine if you realize that that one step contained the entire distance within its step. That's what I found in A Course in Miracles. When I began practicing yoga, I knew if I stuck to my practice, because in every book of yoga, every yoga teacher, every yoga master, every yogi I ever met, who had attained that, showed me the way. Krishna showed that to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. A Course in Miracles says, practice it right now, and you will attain it right now. Forgiveness isn't something that comes in the future. You forgive now, and you have the peace of right now. You give all to have all. Let's see. William says, indulging gluttony, so I am gratefully overstuffed. What was breakfast today? And Greek, my friend, how are you? Eric, I firmly believe that we all live our lives internally on repeat. Deja vu is a strong evidence for that. I wouldn't argue that. However, what if you could break out of that chain of events? What if you could break out of that? And Greek says, to be honest, this sounds like hell to me. And it could be hell. Bird47 says, can you thug shake? I'll be honest with you, I don't know what it is. However, if you were to post a video on your YouTube channel showing me how to do it, demonstrating it, I would watch it. And if I thought I could do it, I'd let you know. And a Greek says, how? I'm going to go with my standard answer. The grace of forgiveness. So we were talking about karma the other day, and I kept hearing the karma will get you, karma is a bitch, karma is this, karma is that. Karma is none of those things. Karma is action, consequence. But we are given a means of escaping karma. Bhagavad Gita offers that lessons through the teachings of Krishna. But the way to trump it all is through forgiveness. Forgiveness keeps us from those bounds of cause and effect. William says, 2 banana, 1 cup of Ezekiel, 4-9 cereal. That's good cereal. And dry roasted country peanut butter. Nice. It's a nutritious breakfast. Bird says, you got to put your arms straight up and move your arms side to side. Man, I need a demo. You got a YouTube channel. Let's see what you got, man. Plus the size of dry roasted Enderman and pistachios. Nice. I have not had my breakfast yet. I will when I come back from my walk. William says, Andy Greek, you should read my profile. I'm a firm believer, living life more than one time. Well, Anna Greek isn't saying that you don't live life more than one time, but it is the same life or the same cause and effect. Let's see. Hakeem says, with your sis. Well, we all need company. Let's see. Eric says, what kind of content do you make for YouTube? Mainly conversation. Talking. As boring as that sounds. And it can be pretty boring. I also like nature videos. I make nature videos, little clips. Nothing special. I don't edit. Got a little handheld camera. And I just try to see what I can catch on my daily walks. And I share it. And I put out some workout stuff. Old Man Fitness. There you go. I've summed up my channel. Old Man Fitness. Let's see. William says, I believe I have experienced the course more than one cycle. And despite foreknowledge of events, I cannot change the outcome regardless of how I try to impact the future. Which means no matter the... What if you didn't have that belief? Actions I take, I end up there, which means it's destined to result the way the choices I made lead to that result. What if you made different choices? What if you didn't make the choices? What if you gave up the thought that ego is making any choice whatsoever and you turned it all over? Man, William answered my question right off the bat, which means I solely need to surrender. Man, hey, William, Way to turn that all the way full circle. That was beautifully done, my friend. You've heard the expression gobsmacked? William Hart just left me gobsmacked with his reply, which means I solely need to surrender. Solely need to surrender. Surrender to love. According to A Course in Miracles, the emissary was given to us, the Holy Spirit, that we can turn to at any moment. We can get rid of the term Holy Spirit if you don't like it and say the voice of love, the voice of our heart, our connection, the Tao, Krishna consciousness, Christ consciousness, doesn't matter, Buddha consciousness. We turn to that and we say, I don't know. I keep making the same mistakes. I keep living the same life over and over again because my ego is making the choices. My ego is making the decision. And I'm tired of it. That's what happened with me. I got tired. I'm tired of the same mess. I find that happening here on YouTube in my live stream, that different channels, different people, but the same thing, the same attack, grievance, justification, attack, grievance, justification, over and over and over and over again. And when I step out of it, people invite me back into it. Nope, you gotta play. You gotta play. I'm keep being told, I gotta play the game. Anytime I try to step out of it, someone says, nope, you're involved, you have to play the game. And so I inadvertently, very subtly, get sucked back in. Here's the thing, it's not my game. But here's the other thing, and it's the same thing, it's not your game either. It's not your game. Refuse to step into it. Refuse to carry out the grievance. Because the ego says, do this, you don't have to do it. You're not the ego. The ego is your false identity. YouTube Live. Yeah, that's what I do. William says, I tried the message character limit and typing on mobile makes it difficult. Hey, man, you did it perfectly. Perfectly, William. Let's see. Anna Greek says, I think that the self-castrated Christian father, origin of the desert, that church cursed and considered him heretic, is right. There is predestination. Here's the thing. Everything is a belief. Everything is a belief. If you let those beliefs go for an instant, what is right now? Without a belief, what is right now? Without a thought, what is right now? Stay with that. That's the teaching of Nisargadatta Maharaj. What is right now? Right now. Before you have a single thought. Stay with that. William says, thank you, Eric. He is a wholesome person. If you're interested in gaining introspection, we occasionally have good conversations most mornings. And I read from book series, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard and 5:15. Thank you, William. We are basically our town square, session for friends. Absolutely. William says, Will says, sorry. Will Z, I'm writing an unauthorized autobiography. Man, I look forward to reading it. William says, is that for yourself? What do you mean, William? So we live our beliefs. Imagine that. We live our belief. Our beliefs are projected outwards, causing our perception of the world, and we live them. And then we blame the world. The world sucks. The world does suck. Because our beliefs suck. No offense. My beliefs certainly suck. Um, but through forgiveness, we manage to let them go. We let them go. We start to live in a world beyond our beliefs. We recognize it's just a belief, it's just a thought. Is it true? Can we absolutely know for certain that it's true? This is from Katie Bryan. Can we absolutely know for certain that it's true? I mean, absolutely know for certain. And we can say, yes, of course. But how do you know it's absolutely certain? Is it true that it's absolutely certain? And who would you be in the absence of that certainty? Who would you believe? Who would you be if you didn't have that belief? William says they were um, writing their own or writing another. And Rosie says, right now I'm having amnesia and deja vu at the same time. I think I've forgotten this before. Man, that's awesome stuff. That is very George Carlin-esque. Just as clever and just as funny. Man, you know what? I really hope you're writing this stuff down. William says, so what were you saying about karmas and grievances? Grievances create our karma, and our karma creates our grievances. We're stuck in a wheel. In yogic Buddhist terms, samsara, the endless wheel of cause and effect, of death and rebirth. Every single moment is a small death. We die to who we were just a moment before, and yet, because of memory, we're instantly reborn as almost exactly the same. We don't realize that maybe the only choice we actually have is to step outside the illusion of an ego and live our life outside the bounds of karma. Can we do that? Sort of. Karma sucks us back in because we are actionary figures. Everything, William talked about this yesterday, actually, in another great conversation. We're always going to have to act. That was Arjuna's dilemma on the battlefield, and he gave up. He's doing what I'm doing. He said, I can't do it anymore. Anything I'm doing is going to hurt someone. And Krishna took him to task and said that his act is unbecoming of a prince. Arjuna was a prince warrior. A warrior means someone of action, doesn't mean someone who is at war. Arjuna, that is unbecoming of a warrior to just sit in the middle of a battlefield and say, I surrender, I will do nothing more because every action I do harms someone. Krishna says, let me show you another way. Let me show you how to escape cause and effect. How do you do it? William said. William gave the answer. Surrender. Surrender everything to God. Surrender everything to Krishna. Surrender everything to the Holy Spirit. Let's see. John says, Jesus' Lord, when you die, we'll see him. There's no karma. It's called judgment, the end. Well, happy that you have your story to tell. Greek says, Eric, I am walking. Eric, I think walking is meditation in motion. You consume energy so you have no thoughts, and it is the safest way to produce endorphins without compressing your joints. And in Greek, I agree. I love my walks. Plus, you're outside. You are the fractal patterns of nature itself puts the mind in an alpha brainwave state, which is the lightest state of meditation, which means that you are receptive to inspiration, creativity. It opens the heart. Absolutely, Anna Greek. Hey, Seth, how are you? Seth says, good morning, sir. Good morning to you, my friend. Going to talk for a few more minutes. William says, always blueberries first, then strawberry diesel, gushers. I don't know what strawberry diesel gushers are. Yeah, the Bhagavad Gita is a lesson how to live. We can say from a yogic perspective, but there's only life. Everything is yoga. Everything is yoga. Hey, Trending, how are you? Trending says, like and sharing, sir. Thank you, my friend. So what do I mean that everything is yoga? A Course in Miracles is yoga. Bhagavad Gita is yoga. The practice of yoga is yoga. Yoga means union, the realization of union. Practicing yoga doesn't bring about union. If something's united, how can it bring anything about? But it says in the beginning of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the second one, yoga is experienced, not brought about, not gained, not given. Yoga is experienced in that mind which has ceased to identify itself with the vacillating waves of perception. The vacillating waves of perception. Our thoughts are creating our perception of the world. And the yogi is one who ceases, or does their best to cease, identifying with the motion and gives himself, gives herself, gives themselves to the stillness that resides for that motion to pass through. So everything is yoga. Everything is the realization that we are not our perceptions. There is great, great peace in that. So I'm going to close on one more thing here. Lesson 122. Forgiveness offers everything I want. This was it for me. This was it for me. Forgiveness offers everything I want. The entirety of meditation, the entirety of my practice of yoga, the entirety of everything leads to this. Forgiveness offers everything I want. What could you want forgiveness cannot give? Do you want peace? Forgiveness offers it. Do you want happiness, a quiet mind, a certainty of purpose, and a sense of worth and beauty that transcends the world? Do you want care and safety and the warmth of sure protection always? Do you want a quietness that cannot be disturbed, a gentleness that can never be hurt, a deep abiding comfort and a rest so perfect it can never be upset? Forgiveness offers you this and more. It sparkles on your eyes as you awake and gives you joy in which to meet the day. But you got to practice it. Why practice? Because we forget. The ego's strong. We've identified with the ego since about the age of 2 years old. It's called the terrible twos for a reason. We believe so deeply in it, there is no other anything except we all have an inkling, a suspicion. Isn't there something more to life than this? Isn't there something more than the endless cycle of cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect? Here's the thing, in life there's always going to be that cause and effect. However, when we trace back, we see that there's no actual cause. It's just effect, 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 effect. So if there's no cause, who do we blame? Who do we blame if there's no actual cause? We can say someone did this, but what caused that person to do that? And then whatever caused that person and on and on and on. So if there's only effect and we can't blame anyone, everything's instantly forgiven. Like that. Forgiveness offers everything I want because it allows me to step out of that endlessness of cause and effect and just see effects and effects and effects. I forgive because I know you're not the ultimate cause of your suffering that has been projected out into the world, causing you to live a life of suffering and pain and seemingly harming others. There is no cause. There's just effects. How peaceful is that? It can seem hopeless because we're blaming and we're holding on to our grievances. I gotta have someone to blame because it gives my ego an identity. I don't want to identify with my ego any longer. Doesn't mean I'm going to fight it, because now I'm just entering cause and effect again. I'm giving my ego a cause. It's the cause of all my pain, and I have to fight it. And then I see the ego in you, and I have to fight it. Just recognize it. Let it be. Let it be. Relax. Relax. Let's see, William says, for a 30-minute morning yoga session, would you write down the routine and post as a members community post so others can try it? I could do that. I will do two things. I hope to put out a very short yoga routine that is actually my late morning session, but it's perfect for everyone who just wants the essence of yoga, to awaken the energetic centers of the body, to feel good, to ease the joints, to allow you to sit in meditation if you want, or just feel good for the rest of the day. And then I'll write down my own as well. Thank you for that, Roy. Please remind me, because I'll forget. Trending says, watching here while doing something. So Yogi, thank you, Trending. Warren says, it's like a muscle. It can happen overnight, but you don't train it, you lose it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Trending says, listening here. Anna Greek says, good for you, Trending. Eric is so wise. You know what? We all are so wise. This is our collective voice. You know, we're in dialogue. Anything I say is only as good as our dialogue, only as good as what Anna Greek offers me, only as good as what William offers me, only as good as what Trending offers me. And so we have this dialogue back and forth. And that's when we get down to the nitty gritty. That's when we get down to the thing that helps. And that's what we want. I'm tired of my crap, is what it comes down to. I'm tired of my crap. I can fight the ego that causes the crap, and it just leads to more crap. I'm back right into that cycle of cause and effect, where I can see there is no cause, there's just effects, and I can see through it. Second lesson in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Yoga is the peacefulness that resides when we recognize this is the vacillation of the mind, the thought system, which is ego. Spirit is that which doesn't think. Doesn't mean thought is wrong. Remember, we are not our thoughts. Thoughts are an occurrence and chemical, neurochemical firing in the mind. Are we a neurochemical? If we're not a neurochemical, we can't be a thought. Nor can we be primarily the brain. Hey, all the way from Australia, Burpee Bandit, the legendary Burpee Bandit. The author of the super efficient, supercharged burpees. Guys, if you want an 11-minute fitness system, 11 minutes, there it is, Burpee Bandits. Let's see, Bandit says, hey Eric, just stopping by now. Missed most of your conversation. It's 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Sydney, Australia. How is your burpee training going? Love the nature videos. Thank you, Bandit. Training's going well. Burpees are present, but not primary. I'm doing a lot of dips, a lot of pull-ups. I'm doing a little more kettlebell stuff, and I'm using my burpees to tie everything together. Thanks for asking, and thanks for watching the nature videos. If I stopped everything else I was doing, the one thing I would continue would be nature videos. Let's see, Roy says, it is weird to say, but there was a revelation. I came to watching a show. I won't say what it was, but the series led to a scene where all events start to finish showed existing outside of time. All of us were aligned like grids connecting on at the axis. We never existed separately, and we forget we are one. Man, what a huge revelation. And here's the amazing thing. You'll forget it, but it will remain true. But that which was revealed cannot be taken away. The ever-lying existence of who we are, the grid, the universe, the quantum effects, whether it be string theory or any other quantum theory, the fact that there's just the absolute, whatever that might be. You can't know the absolute, you are the absolute. And from that absolute comes some vibratory experience that sets in motion the entirety of the universe. And then it just continues and continues. From the absolute, which is sure, which is blameless, which is unconditional, comes a vibration, and everything comes into being. Is that the original cause? I don't know. Does there need to be an original cause? But going back to what we were talking about, when we can see there is no original cause to the chain of effects that we call life, how can we blame anyone? How can we justify a resentment? How can we hold a grievance? That person is as blameless as we are. As blameless as we are. It's easy. And we say this person did that and that and that. And they did do that. No one's denying that. But what they're saying is ultimately they are blameless. Does that mean they don't have responsibility? Doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. We hold people accountable. We hold people responsible. However, we can't hold a grievance against that person because we're in the same situation. We've just, for whatever reason, did things differently. Where it says it's like the cat in the box, Schrodinger's cat. Yep, relies on external observation. Our observation is limited to perceived light and vibration. What it is to say, there's not more. Schrodinger's cat, I think it's called. Yes. Hey, Easy. Hey, Eric. I'm about to go to sleep. Just wanted to step in and say goodnight. Good morning to everyone. Thank you, Easy, my friend. I appreciate that. I'm going to go out and take my walk. It's 5:40 in the morning. Been up a little early today. It was actually up at about 1:40-ish, but didn't stay up. Didn't go back to sleep, but I laid in bed for a bit. And then about 2:20, I started moving. So I appreciate you joining in with me. I'll get that right. Get outside, see what the morning holds. I love my 5 a.m. live streams because you guys are here. William says, enjoy your walk. I've been up off and on for hours. I do not feel the need to get much sleep. Yeah, I've been getting about 6 hours. William says, I'm surprised Jason's not made it in. I wanted inspirational words. I haven't seen Jace. Jace hasn't popped in that live stream for a while. I wonder how much some of this has to do with the events that have been happening. Um, you know, some people might feel the need to, whatever. I'll continue on, do the stuff that I do. Warren says, may you see a butterfly today. Well, thank you for that. Butterflies symbolize grace for me, the grace of the wings of a butterfly. And when I experience grace, when I see grace, I experience grace. When I experience grace, that's it. Relaxation, life, everything. All right, guys. I'm going to see everyone later. Take care.